Logging on. It's a weird time that we're in. It's never happened in any of our lives, but I appreciate y'all just trying to get better and thinking that y'all want to learn something from me. I'm going to start out by saying again, I'm not God's gift to football. I coach the position how I coach it. I'm not right. I'm not wrong. It's just how I do it. So I'm just going to take y'all a little bit through about, our Cedar Hill running back house call culture and take y'all through a little bit of that. And then we're going to talk about our skills and drills throughout the week, how I break it down, and the drills that I like to use, the ones that I found out that, these show up in the games the most because it's all I'm ever concerned about. And then, again, talk a little bit more about how I coach a position and, just kind of my philosophies in coaching this position. It's coaching running backs is a little bit different because I got to talk about it a little bit later. It's 50% instinct. You could look at a kid, you can see him run the football. You could tell whether they're a running back or they're not a running back just from the get-go. Okay, obviously you can develop them. Maybe they're a little bit lower tier and you can develop them a little bit. But, a lot of the running back position comes naturally. So I just try and, do my best job to put them in the best situation. We got a lot of talent at Cedar Hill, but, just coach them, put them in the best situation and, try and make them better individuals as well. So we're going to start out a little bit, just topics again. We're going to talk about house call culture. With each unit, we try and have our own little tags, little names, and we're house call. It's funny when I applied for the job, when I started going through and I did the interview, I'm a big Urban Meyer guy. And he always talked about how when he broke the huddle, he'd have showtime. I tried that. Kids hated it. And I was like, all right, fine, then y'all come up with something. So they came up with house call. So now we got house call T-shirts. We got house call. Every time they break, kids are always talking about it. House call. You see them on Twitter. They're always using hashtag house call. Man, they just love it. Partially because they created it, but it's just something that we're going to talk about a little bit. Every one of our running backs, when they touch football, they got a chance to score. That's kind of the mentality that they need to have as running backs. We're going to be okay with a 4 or 5 yard game, but realistically, the name of the game is to put points on the board. So that's kind of the mindset and a little bit of swag that they want to have, and I want them to have, and you're going to see how I coach them a little bit. Again, we're going to go through skills and drills, which is our weekly schedule, and then, again, how I coach the position.
I woke up when you came and woke me up.
So just a little bit about our house call culture, man. This is just a little bit about this picture. This was after one of our running backs. He's a junior. He tore his ACL, I believe, 2 weeks before, and he was getting surgery the day of this game. And, I always take pictures with my group afterwards, man. I call them up, talk to them, take a little picture, win or lose. So this is part of what we're going to get into a little bit today is, the business aspect, the family aspect. They said, Coach, let's put up 28 for him. That's the number. We'll put up 28 for this picture so that way he's still in it. These fools couldn't figure out how to put up 28 on their hands if their life depended on it. They're holding up a whole bunch of different stuff. They got 82 right here with the guys trying to put the numbers together. But you know what, though? That's besides the point. They were just trying to do something that showed that they're thinking about their family member. And this is after like a 40-point win. Kids excited. All these running backs went off, had a great game. And they just wanted to put it in the picture. And that's something that I stress a lot, in everything that we do, we're going to be no block, no PT. We talk about, you always hear no block, no rock. Well, shoot, if you're not going to block, you won't even see the field. You're going to be standing by me on the sidelines. So, if you're not willing to block, if you're not willing to sacrifice your body for your teammate, just don't expect to get on the field. And I'm lucky. I'm pretty blessed. I have a bunch of selfless kids that want to get better, and they always push each other, and they're happy to do whatever it is. But I just let them know that's the very first thing I talk about in spring ball. That's the very first thing I'm going to talk about. Everybody knows that you can do something with the ball in your hand, but it's about what you do without it that I care about. Okay. Again, just a couple of staples of the house call culture, family. Everybody's heard it. It's still one of my favorite acronyms. Forget about me, I love you. Selflessness and pride. Again, what do your guys do when they're on the sidelines waiting for their next opportunity to carry the ball? Okay, these three right here, these four guys that I had here, they always wanted the ball. They're competitors. They always want to help the team. But, one scores a touchdown. Shoot, one has 5 or 6 carries, gets a little tired. Other one goes in, scores touchdown. the very first person to celebrate with them is each other. Even if the person just came out and they didn't get that touchdown there, they just go out, they meet them. Borderline get us some dang calls because they're already rushing out towards the field to celebrate with their teammate who just made that play. So that's something that's big with me. And, you know, like I said, looking forward to next year, I think I got an even better group with that too. You know, reward big plays without the football. Jan, this is something I do is everybody probably does it, but I don't do anything special. You know, I'm just going to show that I'm recognizing them and I'm going to get them a reward. Sometimes I'll bring them donuts on Saturdays for good blocks. I'll bring them donuts. I'll text them beforehand, you know, before they come up to work out. I'm going to say, hey, y'all don't need to worry about breakfast. I got you. I'll bring y'all donuts, galoshes. Shoot, sometimes it'll just be a Gatorade after practice. But, you know, the kids, they really take that competitive aspect and, you know, they're right for that stuff. You know, I'll put a Gatorade in the fridge of the coach's office before we head out to practice, and I'll talk to them and say, hey, best block today gets a Gatorade. You know, and they fight. They talk about it all the time. They love it. It's getting them excited about something that does carry in the football and is about being a part of a family as opposed to, you know, going to score. I got to get my touchdown. I got to get my touches. You know, it's just something that I feel that's made a pretty big difference with, you know, with my group. The other thing is, you know, spend time away from football together. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a big cookout or anything, you know, where you invite the guys over and, you know, you cook for them. It honestly could just be right after practice, just not talking about football. You know, I talk to my guys constantly. I'm always in contact with them, just seeing how they are, you know, just making any conversation not related to football that we can. Because, you know, when we get in the season, that's all it is. You know, we're trying to win games. We're trying to do all this and that, trying to make sure we got all our assignments. We'll have meetings. We'll have – and, you know, the whole world revolves around football. But it just goes a little bit further with these kids when you actually show them that you don't care about them more than just a player in the uniform that you match with. You know, we had a number 10 in this picture right here. He was a senior. You know, I still – you know, we ended, I believe – late November, got done. I still text this dude about once a week, always asking him, you know, hey, how you doing? How's your family? How's your mom? How's recruiting going? You know, what are you thinking about? How do you feel about this place, this place, this place? You know, it may not mean nothing to him now, but I think it will eventually. I mean, he already sees and he knows that I always got his back, and, you know, all these kids do. So that's a big thing that goes in house call culture. Coaches have to go their way too. Coaches have to go out of the way and show that they care about them more than just in helmet and shoulder pads. And you do that, I mean, everybody knows you do that, you'll get them to play for you no matter what time, weather, doesn't matter. They're going to play hard for you. All right, so moving on to weekly schedule. Okay, so this is kind of how I broke it up. You know, if anybody wants this, you could screenshot it. I'll send it to you, whatever. I'll send everybody the drills that I do. Again, this is essentially my weekly menu of drills. You know, we got our pre-practice time for about 10, 15 minutes every day. You know, and I get the kids going where they will be able to go out there and know exactly the expectations. They're going to do it because we're going to do these drills consistently. You know, I had some other stuff that I've done that I was going to put in here, but it didn't show up on film as much as this stuff. Okay. Again, we got the cone cuts, the second level, and the get fit. I kind of shrunk it down to exactly what we need to work on and made just this menu. So, you know, I'm going to go through, let's say we do film before practice. Okay. I'm going to tell them, all right, hey guys, we got, you know, get your cone cuts, set up the cone cuts, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Then I need y'all to do some get fit and drive and then banana block. They'll be able to go out there for 10, 15 minutes. Now I'm going to be watching. But I'm going to get those seniors. I'm going to get some of those guys that want to be leaders. I'm going to get them going and running it and doing it full speed because I'm going to talk about here in a minute what game speed is and what I expect. So I'm going to go through there, and they're going to know exactly what we need to do, okay? Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm doing this based off of a Friday game week. You know, we play on Friday. We got walkthroughs on Thursday. So these are 3 true days of practice. So each day is going to be broken up. So Monday, it's ball skills. You know, we got our Auburn drill where we're going to work all of our routes. We're going to work short yardage. We're going to work cut and cover with 2. and then we're going to work and catch and see the tuck because, you know, our backs, that's something that I forgot to mention. You know, we're going to work on being complete backs. We do everything. You know, I got that from my buddy BJ Ryder. You know, he helped me a lot. So complete backs. So we're going to work on catch and see tuck on Monday. Tuesday is going to be run blocking during individual, no matter what. You know, you could get all your cuts, you could get all your stuff during pre-practice, but when Tuesday starts in practice individual, we are run blocking. You know, we do a blocking circuit. We're gonna go cut. We're gonna cut the bags, which we're gonna talk about a little bit of toughness. We're gonna work on hand placement, getting fit. We're gonna do 2, 4, 6-point explosions on the sleds. You know, we're gonna do linebacker mirror drill, which I'm gonna explain how I do it a little bit differently than everybody else because, you know, I'm a big guy. I got O-line background, so I kind of build a progression with it. And then we're gonna do our banana block, you know, for all of our power stuff. And then Wednesday is pass pro. Wednesday is kind of unique for us because as a team, you know, that's kind of our lighter day, our shells day. So when we do our pass pro, you know, the very first thing that we start out with is pass pro versus the defense. You know, linebackers, man, they're just looking forward to teeing off on somebody because they know we can't. So that's kind of another toughness thing where we talk to the running backs. You know, linebackers, they ain't looking to hit the quarterback. It's our number one offense versus our number one defense. They're just looking to tee off into you. So you better have your pass low. You better be ready to bring your pencil, and you better fit. So during the individual that day, that's what we're going to work up on. We're going to work on the blitz pickup. We're going to do mirror drill. We're going to do, you know, I even work a drill where, let's say, you know what happens in the game of football. You end up getting beat. How do you recover when you're getting beat in pass protection? So I'm going to put them in a disadvantage situation where they're in a disadvantage and then work from there. So that way when it happens in the game, they're not panicking. Then I'm going to fit them up on half a man and have them work and pass block and sit in their chair. But that's all Wednesdays. So this is everything that I do. Nothing fancy. I'm not recreating the wheel. But again, you know, pre-practice, Monday we're going to work ball skills. Tuesday we're going to work run blocking. Wednesday we're going to work pass pro. The big thing is I'm not particular necessarily about ball security drills in particular. Because, you know, during our pre-practice and during our ball skill work on Monday, again, we do pre-practice every day, so I'm you know, we get a chance to work on that. But we do a lot of ball security just within what we do. So, like, all of our ball security drills, I'm going to have set people up swiping at the ball. Okay, when we work our reaction drills, when they're doing cone cuts, somebody's going to be swiping at that ball at the first level. Somebody's going to be swiping at that ball second level. I don't care when they're running back from a drill after they finish. Like, let's say they got to do a reaction and burst. Okay, so they read, you know, they're running their inside zone path. They react off what I give them. They cut a certain way, and then they burst through 10. You know, they're going to finish a run. When they're walking back, I'm peeking to make sure that they don't have that ball all just hanging out. They can't carry it with their hand like this. That every time they have a ball, it needs to be high and tight. 3 points of pressure and eagle claw on the top. 3 points of pressure, eagle claw, and wrist to the chin. We do that all the time. They know if they don't, they're going to give me 10 push-ups right then and there. And, they'll kind of play with, they're kids. They like to have a little fun. Coach Kelley, so-and-so, Chris Allen's got the ball loose. So I'm going to look back and, he's going to make sure they self-police that way. Even though they're having a little fun, they're going to self-police. And now they know anytime that ball needs to be high and tight, always. And, by doing that, and they expect it when we go to group and team too. We'll do some stretch stuff. We'll do anything that we do with a ball. I'm going to swipe and try and hit that ball. Everybody on the team has permission when a running back has the ball to swipe and hit that ball. It's always going to be in the back of their mind. How am I holding the ball? I need to make sure that I secure this football. And I think it really paid off, to be honest. We're doing that in 12 games. We had 2 fumbles, including practice. We had 1 fumble in a game, and then we had 1 fumble in practice at the varsity level. So I really think that constant focus on it, rather than just doing a drill here, a drill there, talking about it, they always had consequences if that ball was not high and tight, if it was not held the right way. And like Coach Merritt said from James Madison yesterday, fumbles are going to happen. They're going to happen. Okay, but again, kids are constantly focused on how they're going to hold the ball. They're being super diligent and deliberate about how they hold the football. And I think that really paid off for us in the long run. All right, so now I'm going to kind of get into, our pre-practice drills. Like I said, I don't have any drills filmed. So if y'all can kind of stick with me with my crude drawings, I hope if you guys have questions, I'm always on Twitter. I'm always able to answer stuff. So, again, I just got cones right here. This is our pre-practice stuff. So let's say that I'm talking to the running backs. We're playing a 4-man front. We're going to inside zone. We're going to read a 3 technique. I'm going to stand where that 3 technique is. There could be a quarterback. It could be another running back doing the exchanges, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm going to give them the reaction right here. Okay, if I step to my right, they know they have to go to their right. Okay, and then I got the cone set up about 5 yards. We're just going to work cuts. Again, this could be a kid. We're just going to work cuts. Okay, we're going to work 3 cuts. Those are the only cuts that we work. Speed, pressure, jump. Those are the only cuts we're going to, you see some other stuff, I'll let them work on a spin some days as a finishing move. If they got to make somebody miss, they'll do other stuff, work their stiff arm. But when it comes down to it, playing running back, these 3 are going to be used 85% of the time. A speed cut without losing speed. Pressure step where you got a 2-way going, you're trying to make them hesitate and make a move, and then a jump cut. So those are, when I looked at it and I thought about it a little bit more, those are three cuts that we're going to do. Those are what we're going to work on. So now they make the reaction, they make their read, they run our inside zone. Now they got to make a speed cut off this cone. Okay, then they keep going. Speed cut through this cone. And we're always going to finish with a 10-yard burst. That's how every day, this is how we're going to start. No matter what. They know exactly how the cones get set up. They bring out the bag. They set it up. And like I said, they run this sometimes without me even there if I'm being held up by something inside. So they know this. They also, the great thing is, again, I listen and I got my spies and everything, and they're talking about, ball security. They're talking about ball security without me even there. So we're going to do that that's just really another way of doing a dynamic stretch. They're just kind of getting moving. They're eventually going to, where they're not tight, they're getting a little bit loose, and they're just, they're working on football-related skills before practice even starts. Again, tight feet and switch arms. These are where I set cones about 2 yards apart. And, they're just trying to take short, choppy steps. Every time they switch to the next cone or to the other side, they have to work on switching their hand the ball in their hands. So, again, when they start right here, again, I got a pointer. Okay, they start right here. As soon as they start about to cross, they're going to switch hands. Short, choppy steps. Come around. This side, switch hands. They're going to do that, and guess what? They're going to finish with a 10-yard burst, go to this side, and start going this way. The best thing about some of these drills is you get a lot of people going at the same time. Like here, you could have 3 to 4 people if you space it out. You could have 3 to 4 people going constantly, nonstop. The speed and pressure cuts. Outside after you do start one, they go, then you can start the next one right after they hit that first cone. There's a lot of movement and there's not a lot of standing around because, I've had head coaches, I've had some really great head coaches that have really ingrained into me. Just don't, you're doing a drill. I understand the point of your drill, but make sure that everybody is doing it and it's efficient. Make sure everybody's getting this work in. Okay, it's great if you got a good drill, but if you only get 2-3 reps of it each time, you're really not drilling anything. Okay, you're doing 2-3 reps and then you're done. The kids aren't going to do that. You're not building any muscle memory. So make sure it's a fast pace. Make sure you're doing it right, but make sure they understand it at the same time. Okay, the other pre-practice drill I'll set up is, we ask our running backs to do a lot of blocking. Okay, so, we got 2 running backs. I'll set up. Sometimes these are bags. Sometimes these are younger kids. But I'll call out the play. So we'll say, hey, we're going to run power to your side. Now they know I have to step up. I got to get my banana block, and I got to kick them out. Okay, sometimes we're going to say, hey, we're running stretch right here. We're going to go get them. We're going to go get that outside shoulder of the outside linebacker. All right, hey, I'll say, hey, we're running lead right here. Okay, go lead up on that linebacker. Okay, you're going to get set up, and you're going to lead up on that linebacker, and that's how we're going to start. These 3 drills, I do them every day, no matter what. Again, blocking, all this, the cuts, ball security, all of my drills have all of them. So they're really getting this work, and they're getting a lot of practice. A lot of practice. This is even before practice really starts, helping them get loose and develop those skills, get that muscle memory. Okay, so again, we talked about Monday, ball skills. Okay, this is our big ball skills day where I'm going to make sure that, catching, switching arms, keeping balance, all that stuff, short yardage running, where we got to make sure that we cover that football and we finish. We're going to end up doing all that on Mondays. So right here, you kind of see, again, y'all don't make fun of me because of my drawing right here. Had to do this on my iPad because it's as good as it gets. Okay, so I got the routes. I'm going to take all of them, and I'm going to take all of these routes. Every kid is going to get 2 to 3 routes with catching the football like this. Okay, we're going to run the wheel. We're going to run a little angle. We're going to run the route over the center. We're going to run a straight seam, speed out, all of that stuff. They're all going to get that. And again, I'm really big on when they catch it, they need to make sure they tuck it, and it's just game-like. It's game-like no matter what. Okay, because we everybody has it where kids are like, well, shoot, it's practice. I'll turn it on in a game. If they take that lazy rep during my drills, they're going to end up getting 10 push-ups. If it keeps happening, they're going to get more push-ups, or they're just going to end up running. Because the way I tell them is, shoot, if you're going to waste my time during these drills, you're going to end up hitting the bricks or doing something, because you got to take this seriously. Okay, you can't have speed any of these drills. These drills are all designed to make you a better player. And, I don't have that issue as much. They figure it out pretty quick. Okay, Auburn drill, this is that Michael Dyer against University of Oregon in the national championship game, where he ended up rolling, had to switch hands, post his hand to stay balanced, to stay up, and he was able to keep running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand, get all these running backs. I'm going to line them up so everybody's going at the same time. So I'm going to end up having the running backs, they all start with the ball. They're going to – let me go ahead and kind of stand up a little bit. Okay, so they're going. They got the ball in their hand. They're just going to practice on putting that hand down, okay, keeping the ball, coming back up, switching hands, other hands down.
Coach,
okay?
You got
There's a lot of yes.
You got to turn your camera on.
Oh, my camera's not on. I forgot. Okay, so let me stop the share real quick, y'all. Don't judge me for how athletic I look. Okay. So again, they're coming up. Let me kind of get this. Okay. So again, as I'm going, okay, I got the ball in my hand. Very first thing, I'm just going to take one step. This is about a 50%, 75% drill. I'm going to put my hand down. I'm going to take a couple steps, come back up, switch hands. Now the ball's in the other hand, and I'm putting this hand down. Okay, it's all about, how we're trying to fall, protecting ourselves, protecting the football. And again, just working on that ball skill. Switching hands is something every running back's got to do. Okay, some of them don't like to because they're pretty dominant and running with one hand, but it gets them out of that. It's just a little bit more practice. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So again, we're going to do Auburn drill. And I even show them the clip. I show them Michael Dyer, on the run that basically still sealed the national championship for Auburn that year. Okay, see the tuck. Okay, that's where I just got them lined up, and they're essentially going to be playing catch. Okay, but as they're playing catch, again, I'm going to stop this. Okay, as they're playing catch, so they're playing catch with somebody, but it's not just normal catch. I just want them to put it on them. They're going to catch, see the tuck. Old receiver drill. All receivers do it. They're going to catch. They're going to see the tuck. Sometimes other days they'll just be standing like this, catch, see the tuck. Then they got to work it from other angles. Okay, so let's say I ran a swing, quarterback hits me behind. Now I got to get right here. I'm going to have the person throw it behind just while I'm standing right here, catch, tuck, and again, if I'm going to the right, I'm going to switch arms even. Okay, same thing with low ball. Okay, let's say I got a low ball right here. Okay, got a ball right here where I got to go out and get it right here or here. I'm going to catch, I'm going to tuck, and depending on which way I'm running, I'm going to get that ball in my outside arm.
Coach,
so again, this is another
question for you. Coach has a question. Do you do over the top when you're switching hands?
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's what I do. So when I wish I should have had a football here because I knew I was going to be doing a little demonstrating. So again, if I got it here over the top just like this and then switch. That's how I do it. That's the way that I was taught when I started coaching running backs. So that's just something that I just ended up doing. That's the only way I've ever known. It may not be right, may not be wrong. Heck, I don't know, but it's the way that I know. So hopefully that answers your question. All right. Desktop, like I said, I'm a pretty active, passionate guy, so I'm probably gonna end up coming over here and showing y'all drills anyway. Let me get right here. All right, so back to the drills just again so I can show y'all. All right, so this short yardage drill. Okay, again, this is short yardage drill. I always do the reaction piece. Because never, ever, ever will you run and not have to react to the defense. Every time that they're going to run football, they're going to have to react to some stimulant in their eyes that helps them make that cut. And I got 2 pop-ups drawn up here. I'll typically have maybe somebody on the side pushing them in, to really simulate them having to cover up that ball and finish. They got to cover up that ball, finish. Try and stay up, but make sure you get those yards. So I'll do that with the pop-ups. I'll grab the trapezoid lay-down bags, swing them. Okay, put some force behind it. Only do that when the kids got pads, though. Otherwise, you might get a parent calling up. And then I'll do the arm shields. Okay, arm shields where we'll sit up, and there will be 2 people on the arm shields. So, again, there will be 2 people with the arm shields. Again, there will be sorry, a little technical difficulties. So I'll have the 2 people with the arm shields. I'll be right here. The other person will be right there. It could be a younger guy or whatever. So they got to make their cut. They got to react. They got to get back into the fold of things, and they got to run through arm shields right here. And again, always swiping to the ball. If they got to run through here, I may be swiping with this arm trying to hit it out, because that's what's going to happen in games. So again, those are just those drills in particular. Again, that's Monday. That's short yarded. That's ball skill Monday. The kids know it. The kids know exactly what's going to happen when they come into practice. And we're going to rep the heck out of that stuff. Okay. All right, so now looking forward to Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday, it's our run blocking day. Okay, you see this mirror to impact drill. Everybody does that where they run through their blocking stuff. But I kind of do it a little bit different. Again, being an O-line guy at heart, again, it's all progression. So like, let's say I start here with my running back. I'm trying to get this. Okay, so running back's right here. Okay, the very first thing I'm going to do, especially early on, I'm going to have them, I'm going to say, hey, we're leading up on this linebacker right here. We'll tag it, whatever. We're going to lead up on this linebacker. This linebacker is going to move like he's reacting to the play. Again, it's going to be a young kid or something. And they're going to stop directly before they make impact in a position an athletic blocking position. I don't even want them to hit yet. I don't want them to make contact. This is great for when you're doing it shorts. So that way I can emphasize exactly the position that I want them in, because, it's going to influence everything. You got to make sure where your butt is. You got to show where your hands are. Their hands are ready to strike in the chest. Their butt's down. They're ready to explode through somebody. So they're going to stop right before they make contact with that moving linebacker. And I don't do a lot of my stuff. I'm not going to do stationary people, because that's just not game-like. So I'm going to make sure that it's realistic to the game. So they're going to stop right before. So, again, I'm going to come up. I'm going to stop my share so I can kind of show y'all. Okay, so, again, let's say the computer screen's a linebacker. Okay, I'm starting in my stance right here. Okay, however I want to start. Again, I'm all about the kids being comfortable. Okay, so, like, let's say you're a linebacker and I'm leading up on you. I'm going to get right here. If my butt's got to be on this side, I'm going to make sure that I'm showing you that my butt's on that side. My hands are ready to get fit and get ready to drive. But, again, you're going to see that my butt is in the gap that it needs to be in. Okay, same thing if we're doing an outside where I got to come out and I got to come and seal your outside shoulder. I'm going to overemphasize that as I go through. The first part is non-impact, stopping at the point of attack right when you're about to make contact, and freeze. because I want to see it before. I need to see your position. I need to see that you understand why you're in that position. Okay. Then obviously the next part to that is now you get a finish. Okay. We're going to work on our leg drive. We're going to do all that. We're actually going to make contact and we're going to go through. So that's, we'll do that. And it depends on the week, truly. Some days, sometimes they'll play wide ends where we're like, shoot, man, we may not be able to get out there. We may not be able to run in the outside game right now. So we'll still rep it, but that may be more of a week where we end up leading up. So it all depends truly on what we're going to end up doing, and that's what we'll emphasize the most in that mirror to impact drill. We work a cut block drill. We set out bags just a little bit outside. Probably about the first bag is 10 yards. The second bag is 5 yards outside of that. And they're going to run flat. They're going to run their path flat. Come on. They're going to run that path flat. They're going to come out here. They're going to start curving up, getting on that outside part of the bag. The coaches are standing inside so that way you don't have a torn ACL. You're going to drive through the outside of that bag, and, we're emphasizing that you need to fly through with Superman. You got to land on your chest. That's another aspect of toughness that we're trying to build. We can't be tentative when you cut block. Throw your shoulder and your hands through the crotch. Throw your inside hand through the crotch of that guy and sell out. Don't catch yourself. Land on your chest. And, guys, we do this during the period. In Texas, we got a little bit different rules than everybody. We can do stuff during the period, football-related. During the summer, we're able to do some stuff that's football-related. They will sell out and land on their chest without pads and stuff. And, at first, especially younger guys, ain't got much of a chest. They're kind of hurting, saying that it hurts and it sucks and they hate it. But, eventually the kids start buying in and getting a little bit tougher. And, they really love cutting. I got a kid I got two junior running backs that are going to be seniors next year. They're monsters. They can run the ball great. They do all that. But some of their best highlights were flipping somebody ass over tea kettle. Toes up in the air. Look it up on their highlights. I'm not a big film guy during clinics because, you guys, I'm telling you the info. But if you want to see, I got clips of them. They sell it. They buy into it. 0-2, 4, 6-point explosion drill. We're going to set them up. 2-point, they're going to be on their knees. 4-point, they're going to be hands and knees, and then they're firing out. They're just firing out, collapsing the bag, emphasizing, hand position, emphasizing my elbows inside. Again, O-line guy at heart. I'm going to help them. I'm going to teach them the best way that I know how, and that's through these progressions. And, again, I think it pays off. Again, that's how I do it. May not be right, but it's how I do it anyway. Okay, and then, again, the fit drill. We're just going to have them get fit on somebody's chest and work on driving. And now sometimes I'll say, hey, you're the right back, and you got to lead up and you got to keep your butt towards the outside. So now they actually have an angle to work at. And, again, I don't have the dummy just stand there and get driven. I'm telling that dummy that he's got to bring 50, 75%, but I even want him moving side to side occasionally. I want the running back, because no linebacker is going to stand in a hole and wait for you to come block him. That's just not realistic. So we're going to get fit at first, but then they're trying to fight a little bit. They're giving a little bit of resistance, but they're fighting. They can move side to side. I'm okay with that because the running backs need to be able to block them. With them trying to move, with them fighting hands, all that stuff. So they're going to push each other and get better there. Again, that's my Tuesday run block. So I'll do these drills. Kids know Tuesday, this is what we're going to do. Okay, again, Wednesday pass pro. Like I said, y'all, we do it a little bit different. So kind of the same setup as this switch linebacker drill, but without cones and with D linemen and O linemen, and it's our ones versus our ones. So, they see all the stunts that our defense runs. And these linebackers, they're coming to tee off into the running back, but running back can't cut. So they know that it's going to be a physical day, so it really develops that toughness into making sure that they end up bringing their pencil a little bit and getting ready for that. So, but anyhow, that's one of the best ways I can tell y'all work on y'all pass pro with running backs. That's made us so much better. Just if whatever y'all got to do to convince your OC, DC, or head coach, y'all need to try that one of these days. So, again, mirror to impact, some of our rules, well, 1 to 2. So I'll put up either a 1 or a 2. Running backs lined up, I'll say set, go, whatever our cadence is. And that one linebacker will come. Now, it's the same way that I do the mirror to impact drill with our running. Okay, now the linebacker is going to be the one that knows that they're going to have to stop. The linebacker that's blitzing is going to be the one that has to stop. So he's going to stop, and then he's going to start to move side to side, just real quick whistle, done. Okay, but I need to see that the running back is in good position, ready to fit, and moving their feet and ready to be aggressive. Okay, I want to make sure that they're on the balls of their feet. We're going to do this a bunch of times, and then we're going to go to the impact part. Now linebackers get to come in. Again, it's a young running back. But they get to make a move. They get to try something where the running back has to move. It's game-like. It's physical. It's as good as it's going to get. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to end up going to which linebacker drill. This time I kind of break our rules a little bit. I got 3 linebackers across the formation. They have to – when we say set, go, this is full impact, full collision. Linebackers, running back has to find one, okay? It sucks when it's on this far side because now he has to step up, cross, and then again, we got to drill if we got a bad angle or it's tough for us that I'm going to talk about here in another minute. Okay, we're going to work late to cut drill. Again, this is when we can't cut. I do this with bags so that way we don't hurt our guys. I'll do the same setup with the 3 linebackers, and, they're going to see it. Typically, we won't do it with this guy, but it'll be with these 2, just following our normal rules. So we're going to this guy's going to come. He's going to be carrying the bag on the inside shoulder. Some weeks we may say, hey, man, they got a monster as a middle linebacker. We're definitely going to have to cut him. But you don't want to cut too early because otherwise they're just going to jump over you. You're going to go around you. You're going to look silly. You're going to end up on the ground when the quarterback's got turf in his teeth. So we're going to really work and make sure we're using the bag because now we're actually going to develop that time, and they see it full speed, as close to game-like as we're going to go. They're going to set up and pass pro, and then as they're coming closer, then we're going to end up cutting. We're going to put our shoulder in there. We're going to sell out for the team. So, again, late to a cut drill. We still do the mirror drill where they just line up. I'm going to send them across. The running back's got to be able to sit in their chair. They got to be able ready to strike whenever they're ready. They got to be on the balls of their feet in aggressive position. And this is probably one of the best drills that I've gotten, to be honest, this drive-by drill, okay, got beat. So, let's say, again, you see a blitz off the edge late. Okay, I'm actually going to put the linebacker in a spot. So, let me go. I'm going to – okay, so, again, I'm going to be the running back. Okay, the linebacker is on my outside shoulder right here. I'm going to put the linebacker in a position where he's almost past me, almost shoulder to shoulder, okay? Because now I'm in a position where I saw him late, I got there late, whatever the reason is. But I'm not just going to give up. I'm not going to watch him just hit the quarterback while I'm standing here doing nothing. So I'm going to make sure that as I get right here, I'm in my chair a little bit. I was able to get my hands on him. But now I'm just going to open my hips and try and drive him by the quarterback. I tell my backs all the time, you're not going to be able to get into the chest of a linebacker super easy. Okay, they're coached too, so you got to be ready in case you end up in a situation where you're going to get beat. You don't have to overpower them with any block. You just got to make sure that you're able to at least drive him past the quarterback, so that way you aren't ending up on their highlight reel. So again, we try and rep all those situations. All those situations we're trying to rep and make sure that we do on a daily basis. Okay, and then again, really the last part of my talk, before you guys could ask any questions, whatever it is again is kind of my philosophy. So you just saw my throughout the week. You just saw my throughout the week schedule, how I do stuff. But here's kind of some philosophies how I coach the position that I think some people may think is unique, but whatever. Okay, the first part is I never ask them. I never tell them just hit the gap. I always ask them, what do you see? Why did you run that way? Because, again, y'all got to understand, running backs, they got to trust their eyes. So if they see something and, you ask them, what did you see? And if they give a half good answer, a decent answer, you could always say, all right, hey, well, I understand what you saw, but the whole point of this play, the concept of this run is for you to hit right here. So just think about that when you go through. And most of the kids fix it. They just react too quick sometimes. They say, what, instead of saying, what do you see? Be a coach, help them out. Again, fumbles equal log rolls at the next practice. So in the moment, I'm not going to cuss them out. I'm not going to yell at them. I'm not going to get in their face. I'm going to tell them, all right, hey, what happened? Okay. Oh, coach, I wasn't holding the ball high and tight. I didn't have eagle claw, whatever. I'm going to say, all right, got you. We'll correct it. Because in the moment, if you yell at them, it's just going to beat them down. They know they made a mistake. They ain't trying to make a mistake in a game. They're not trying to hurt the team on purpose. So, again, I'm going to talk to them, but they know come that Monday after the game, they're going to be doing log rolls on their sides for 50 to 100 yards. Again, obviously, if somebody has a fumble issue, they have 2 or 3 fumbles, it's going to up the yards. But, again, it's just another way where I'm not in the game. I'm keeping in mind, the psyche of a teenager. And then I'm still having them have their consequence because they know they made a mistake. They're still going to have to pay up for it. But I'm not going to lose my mind in the moment. I'm just going to coach them, tell them what to do, and then I'm going to keep moving on with what we got to do, trying to win this ball game. Again, I'm not a big yeller. I have my moments, trust me. But the only thing that really makes me yell or get mad is selfishness or laziness. Again, I had a senior this year. I love him to death. He had this mindset that every play was his to get the ball when he was on the field. And, I got into him one practice. Because, he said, oh, well, that's not I was under the impression that it was my play. He was saying some stuff, but he just wanted the ball, and, I got onto him and he eventually fixed that. But that's the only time where I'm really going to go crazy. Again, I'll yell sometimes, but, most of the time I'm trying to coach. And, again, take that for what y'all want, but it's how I do it. It's how I coach the position. Again, I'm always preaching game reps. Like I said, game cuts, game blocks, game effort. If you're not taking that, then you're really not trying to be a better football player. You're just kind of out here being a jersey wearer. And you're really not trying to get better. The point of practice is to get better. So I'm always repping those. I'm always telling them. I'm always talking, especially on film. When we watch film, y'all, I just literally ask if there's an effort issue or if they're being kind of lazy when they're supposed to block. I say, is this a game rep? They'll be honest. They know. But then again, it gets fixed. So I don't even have to go crazy or do all this. I'm just going to say, is this a game rep? Okay, then don't ask to get in the game. And they're pretty understanding. When you put that PT in front of them, they change pretty quick. Again, this is just my philosophy on the position as well. It's always fine-tuning. Again, 50% or even more of the running back position comes down to natural instincts. Okay, our jobs is running back coaches to make sure that the technique is there. Okay, they're not just freestyling the freestyle. Okay, they understand the points of concepts. They can look and they can see a 3 technique and understand where this ball may hit. Okay, you're just trying to help them fine-tune their knowledge, fine-tune their blocking technique, fine-tune their effort sometimes, all that stuff. But again, as well as I do, you could walk in and see somebody carry a ball and you can say, there's no way in hell that they're a running back. Okay, either you're a running back or you're not. So that's just something that I always keep in the back of my mind. And this last piece that I put here, is just don't overcoach. That's something that I learned a little bit ago. We were in a game. Running backs kind of running timid. We were playing a good team, but running backs weren't quite hitting the hole fast enough. And then I asked them in the moment, I said, hey, what's going on with you guys? Oh, well, coach, they're telling me everything. They're just looking at so much that it slowed them down where they weren't able to play. This is one of the most frustrating things that I ever did in my coaching career was I realized that, I overcoached them. I had their eyes looking at too many things. And that's a big takeaway for any running back coach out there that I think. Just don't overcoach them, coach them hard, make sure they understand the ins and outs of the offense and stuff. But, your kids, what they can handle and what they can't. And that's something that I made the mistake of early on in coaching this position was, I try to give them too much. And it stopped them from being able to play fast and run hard. So, but no, that's essentially just what I'm thinking about and how I coach the position. Like I said, right, wrong, and different. Maybe I don't know, but that's just the way that I do it. But that's my whole thing, y'all. I appreciate y'all, and if y'all got any questions, y'all feel free to ask or just let me know, because I'm always here. I'm always on Twitter. I'm always trying to find ways to help people out and help the community, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, feel free to drop some questions in. You can see the chat box, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, feel free to ask questions. There you go.
Oh, okay. How much? I appreciate you, Alan. How much individual time do you get each day? You know, it all depends. You know, we do a lot of team stuff and group stuff. So I may get 10, 15 minutes a day on the best case scenarios. There'll be some days where I don't get any. If I know beforehand that I'm not going to get any individual time, I'm going to use my pre-practice time. I'm going to take some of that pre-practice stuff out. I'm going to cut it back. And then I'm going to end up doing what I was going to do during my individual time during that pre-practice. So we're still going to get our emphasis for the day. We're still going to get that theme for the day. It's just being flexible and figuring out how we want to do it if we don't have as much time. Alignment. So that's, you know, for the most part, our alignment will stay the same, you know, because the main thing with my guys, you know, the steps. I'm not too worried about alignment. I'm more worried about steps, you know. There will be some times where, hey, we got to get an outside, so, you know, cheat out a half inch. You know, there will be times where, hey, you're going to end up coming through and leading up, so maybe you could be a little bit tighter to the quarterback. It doesn't change very much. At the most, it'll change maybe 6 inches here or there. But for the most part, we like staying the same, so that way, you know, defenses can't get a tell. You know, I used to be a defensive coordinator when I started out in Texas, so I ended up trying to pick up those stuff, pick up those tells, see where the ball's going. So I tried to eliminate that a little bit. What's your pace when introducing new drills? I'm pretty slow on it at first, to be honest. I'm pretty slow when we start out introducing drills because I really want them to fine tune it before we start kicking it up. Now they know by the second or third week of a drill, I should be able to call it out and be going full speed no matter what. But you know, we're gonna go through it at first. We're gonna talk a little bit about it. We're gonna go exactly what my expectations are, and then we're gonna hit it full speed. No holding back. Hold up, I got a couple more questions. I gotta scroll back up here real quick. All right, stance. To be honest, as long as it's not hunched over with their back or, you know, hands are just hard on their knees where they can't move, I'm okay with whatever stance they're comfortable with. Same thing with their steps. You know, I'm gonna tell them what I want, what the concept calls for, how quick you got to hit stuff. But again, I'm gonna, you know, when we take our inside zone steps, you know, some kids like J step, some kids just would rather kind of step inside, kind of shuffle in, and then get the ball and keep their shoulders square. I'm not too picky about that. You know, I'm not do it my way or the highway. I'm gonna see what each kid likes and what they're comfortable with, and let them be ball players. That kind of goes back to my whole overcoach thing. Do you watch film with other groups? Yeah. So we watch film with everybody. But what we do when we watch film is we, you know, coaches will sit by their position groups. So the running backs know that, hey, when we're watching all this film together, you know, running backs sit here. So that way, you know, as the OC, offense coordinator's talking, any other position coach kind of speaks up. I kind of tap a kid on the shoulder and say, hey, what'd you see here? What were you thinking? Okay, what doesn't look right here? What have I coached you to do? And for the most part, they're really good at, you know, it kind of teaches them to be a little bit more respectful and just be able to take the coaching and just kind of keep moving on without being a distraction. So we could all watch film, but they're still going to end up getting their coaching from me. They know they can't not hear me when I'm when I'm going. Let's see. Yeah, I feel okay. So I'm big on running back, always full speed during practice, no matter what tempo we call, unless walkthrough. I'm the same way. I mean, the kids almost do it naturally. You can't, unless it's walkthrough, you really can't run the ball slow. So no matter what tempo we're doing, what speed, you know, we're always trying to do everything full speed. Like I said, game reps. So, you know, when we do pattern walkthroughs, the kids are still going full speed because I still want them to see that. I never want them, unless we're introducing a new drill, just to kind of be going through the motions. How How would you rank these? Power, vision, and speed? To be honest, you need all of them. You know, it's just kind of about playing into each kid's strengths. You know, we had a kid last year who wasn't a big speedster, but his vision was better than anybody else's, and he played a lot. But then we had another kid that had vision and speed and a little bit of power. I mean, I really wouldn't rank him because I really think you need all three to do what you need to do. You really need all three to be a good running back. I mean, you don't have to be a burner for speed, but you at least got to be able to run away from the fat guys, at least. All right, what are you teaching for same-side run plays? So for counter, so like let's say they're getting the ball on the same side. Real easy footwork. This is the one where all of them have the same footwork. So again, don't mind me, just done. Okay. So I'm right here. So let's say they're lining up and get the ball. They know what same side play coming. So they're just gonna shuffle, and then get downhill. It all depends on what we're trying to do. So again, like all of our same side gap scheme stuff, where we got to let some stuff develop, we're going to shuffle downhill. And I'll tell them that before anytime they get the ball, you know, in practice. Shuffle downhill. Then they'll all get it. And then all of a sudden I don't got to say it anymore because they know and they trying to, you know, like I said, I give them some free reign with it. But for the most part, that has to stay the same. And I explain to them because you have to let the pullers pull. You got to let double teams develop so that way the puller can get around. You know, they can really actually – stuff has to develop, especially in those gap schemes to make sure that you can actually have somewhere to run as opposed to just running in the back of your guard. All right, yeah, I do a little bit of this. It's, do you try and teach running backs about fronts and alignments of the defense to understand blocking of a play, or do you think that goes on what you said with overcoaching? So I will tell them a little bit, okay, about ones and threes. Okay, ones and threes against a four-man front. That's probably the only thing I really try and teach them on about the defense, you know, ones and threes, because, you know, that's what really affects double teams. And that's what really affects, you know, where the ball's going to hit. You know, if you got power and if you run a power to a three technique, then there's a chance that may just straight up be an A-gap play. Or if you're running, just all that stuff. So I'll tell them about ones and threes, how it affects them with inside zone and some of the double teams. But I don't do it too much. I'm just going to tell them a little bit. I'm going to say, hey, where's the 3 and the 1 right here? Okay, what do you think of pre-snap before where this ball is supposed to hit? And then again, when we do our reaction drills, that's something I didn't even get into. When we do some of our reaction stuff, I'll start out as a 3 and slant to a 1. So now they have to make that decision quick. So they see that movement a little bit, and they'll see it against our defense too, and, you know, and against the scout team. So they see a little bit, and I tell them a little bit, but just not too much. Don't be sitting there. You know, some coaches talk about looking at the safeties, trying to find out where the extra guy – I don't think I could do that. You know, I learned my lesson the hard way that first game. So, all right, and then where do you coach their eyes to be on the inside zone? Again, that's where it comes down to that 3 and that 1. You know, if we got a nose, it's pretty easy. You know where that double team is going to be, and you know how the linemen are kind of working up to it. But I'm gonna tell them on that 3 and the 1. You know, if it's a 3 and we're running inside zone to the 3. What are you thinking here? Well, coach, I'm probably going to have to be a little skinnier. Okay. So I'm going to tell them, keep an eye on that front as they're going through. Obviously, they got rule breakers. You know, if they see a backer locked up, you know, we're going to hope that we get it, but we're going to make sure that we hit that thing hard and get our yards. So we're going to, again, we're going to look at that 3 and that 1, and that's going to really, with our eyes, and that's really going to decide where we want this ball to hit. Where it's going to end up hitting based off where they're lined up. But that's about as far as I get. Do you teach slow to fast through on zone plays versus power? Yeah, I mean, I just teach them just to be a little bit more patient on those zone plays, really. I mean, I think that's the main part of your question. I just teach them to be a little bit more patient because they really got to see stuff. You know, power, it's got this design stuff. It's got this design gap that it's supposed to hit through. Inside zone, I mean, any type of zone run, you know, you got to be a little bit patient, see where that hole ends up popping. But the second that, you know, you're kind of slow, and then you got to go. You know, I've seen who was it, Purdue, where they almost do that little walking where they have the mesh for about 2-3 seconds. You know, I thought that was neat, but I just, you know, I'm not quite there yet, but it is a little bit of patience. I don't necessarily tell them slow because I don't ever want them to think slow. I don't ever want them to see slow. I want them to, I'm going to tell them patient. That's always the word I use with my backs is patience. Well, we got to be. But any other questions, y'all? Like I said, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all reach out to y'all kids too. That's just something that it's a weird time that we're in. It's never happened almost in any of our lifetimes that something like this, where quarantine all around the world, global pandemic, this type of stuff. But just make sure that you reach out to your kids. It'll go a long way. Text them, call them even. Just say, hey, how you doing? Checking up on you. Been thinking about you.
Got another question there.
There we go. All right, what's your advice for a first-year varsity running back coach coming from youth football? Okay, the big thing that my suggestion to you is just it's tough, man. That's a tough one. Okay, the big thing is I would just say make sure you go out there with some confidence. Okay, that was something that I messed up in my first year. Sometimes I had it where my confidence would falter in the first year, early on in my career. The kids feel that you don't know or that you're a little insecure about something. Shoot, even if you're in practice and you're unsure about something, this is just me. Tell them, and then if you got to get it fixed, you can get it fixed easy. Just don't be out there. Don't be unsure about yourself. Just make sure that coach what you believe in, coach what you think's right, and then guess what? No harm done if they do it wrong for 10 plays. And then you say, all right, hey, guys, I kind of look back. I was thinking about this. I saw this. And, again, that just kind of goes into also being okay, letting your kids know that you're human and you make mistakes. So just be sure about everything that you do. And if you got to come back and say, hey, I got to – I watched a lot of film. I talked to some other coaches about this. And, I think we got to change this a little bit. And that way, because if the second that they don't think that you know what you're doing or you feel uneasy about something, they're going to shut you out. And that's not what you need.
And just to piggyback off that, do stuff like this, man. And this is what it's for, making connections, reaching out to coaches. They'll get you right. Like that's, going to like, obviously right now we can't go to these, clinics and things like that, but we're able to do in the comfort of our own home. But one thing that we will do, and if you guys don't mind, just drop your Twitter handle. Drop your Twitter handle in the chat. And we can follow up with each other. We can share ideas. That's what it's about. I mean, technology is great in that regard. Social media is great in that regard. We literally have access to just about every coach in the country, in a few seconds just by what we're doing here. So, if you guys were here in the beginning of the chat, you saw, there's dudes from literally all over the place. So it's awesome to see that. So for that coach that put that question in, man.
Yeah, Nate, like I said, y'all, I really appreciate y'all.
Support, man. Absolutely, Coach. That was awesome. I'm really glad that when I reached out to Coach Kelley, he was willing to do it, and it was awesome because you could tell how passionate he is about it, and I think that goes a long way, not only with coaching up your guys, but getting the message out to other coaches and teaching others, man. If you know that someone's truly passionate about things, man, you can tell it's authentic. You can tell he really cares about this stuff. So, Coach, thank you so much for jumping on here, man, putting that presentation together. It was awesome.
No problem. Like I said, I appreciate you letting me come on and do it. And like I said, I appreciate everybody that logged on.